Let's play a little game. What do you think is the biggest mistake every designer can make when making a UX portfolio? And if you've seen my videos from before about things like storytelling and structure and covering the ground and filling in the gaps end to end, so we know how you arrived at the solution instead of just dropping a solution, there's many more symptoms of the issue. But the key issue is really that designers don't really design their UX portfolios. And while you as a designer might make it pretty, and maybe you even tell a story of sorts, and maybe you cover all those gaps I was just talking about, so we apply that UX lens to solve the problems for everyone else but ourselves. So you need to UX your portfolio. But if you want to UX your portfolio and design it right, you also then need to do user-centered approach. And this is the key issue, because designers forget to think about who their users actually are. Who is that receiving end of a portfolio? If you think about it, there's two different types of portfolios. One you use to impress your peers and showcase your personal brand and maintain it as you have a good job and as you kind of develop over your career, which is great. You know, there is place for that. And I call that type of a portfolio kind of like a network building portfolio. So you can establish yourself as a designer, and you know, a goal of getting a new job is not so much. But on the other hand, you have another type of portfolio, which we are really talking about here, and it's getting a new position. It's about convincing those users, hiring managers and recruiters that you are a good enough of a candidate. And this is really big challenging thing, because people think that people who are going to review their portfolios are going to be into design and they're going to read every detail. But if you remember my video on a hiring manager perspective of reviewing portfolios, it's not the case. I might have a few minutes to do that, and so I need it to be tailored for me. And as you can see on my screen, if we're talking about that portfolio which is used to get a job, you're going to have two segments, two distinct proto personas, which you need to think about when you craft UX case studies, when you pull together a portfolio. And one is going to be definitely a recruitment manager, a person who acts like a gatekeeper to connect you with your potential team and the lead or a manager in that team. And another one is going to be like myself, a hiring manager, a team lead or a team manager who's going to be a decision maker if your portfolio is good enough and if I should talk to you and schedule that interview. And so both of them have very specific goals, both of them have very specific needs, both of them have very specific challenges. As a recruiter, they're acting as a middleman. They have a sizable experience in UX and UI. They should know of it. They should know about it to sift and decide who's the right candidate and who isn't. And while they do that as a full-time activity, they also have a lot of candidates and a lot of clients, or even if they're in-house manager for recruitment, they have a lot of candidates to deal with and a lot of heads off or team managers who are actually requesting, hey, can you get me a designer? Can you pool a lot of resumes? Can you get them in? Their goals is of course perfect matchmaking so that candidates and clients match together. They want to build long-lasting relationships so that it's sustainable. They have to reach their quotas, and their needs on a very high level would be simple to easy to follow case studies, the story, that don't consume too much time to understand because of the workload. They want clearly outlined your goals, capabilities and skills, deliverables, and your seniority. It's easy as that. They want relevant case studies so that it's relevant to potential employer or a hiring manager. Let's say if you're going to submit something where it's all mobile apps, but your employer cares about enterprise level dashboards, it's very irrelevant. You might get in, but you should think to tailor it, to think exactly who's on the receiving end, who's your user. And when talking about the challenges, candidate mismatch between what's on paper and versus what's real. So for example, if you portray yourself better than what you perform like on an interview or in your portfolio, you are a headache for them. Unreliable candidates, so if you ghost, low quality portfolios, and has limited time in hand to dig deep into those portfolios as a user. So this is your recruitment manager. It's simple as that. And now if you think about the hiring manager, this is the key. If you want to tailor your portfolio and UX it right, this is the segment, this is the user you need to think about the most, because they are gonna dig deep. And as a hiring manager, I can describe my day to day. I might have a few minutes here and there to review it, so it's super hasty effort. I'm looking for headlines first. I'm looking for a good structured story so I can follow through. I'm looking for a structure so you combine the challenges and how you get to the solutions, and dig deep enough covering the end so you understand who the users are and how to get to a proper, meaningful solution. And if we talk about the goals, it's finding the right talent, which could be you, and finding it on time as well. Because if there's a need to get someone in, someone, let's say, experienced or more junior, the chances are there is a slot to go in and join an existing project squad, or a product team, or a service team, you name it. So you have to be timely, and it has to be right. And my needs are super simple. It's really just easy to follow case studies, which is identical to that recruiter needs I just shown you. It's clearly defined capabilities, skills, deliverables, seniority. It's relevant case studies. It's identical to the recruiter needs. Identical. The challenges are slightly different, but its vast majority of talent are not qualified. It's just the reality of it. We have a lot of Dunning-Kruger effect, where a lot of juniors feel overconfident, think that they are able to do UX designer like a midweight or even senior roles, and that's why there's an influx of people who just think that UI is UX, let's say, and there's a mismatch, and it's just a mess, absolutely. So it's a challenge any hiring manager or team manager faces right now in design. Work pressures, because alongside reviewing the portfolio as a user, I'm also facing all the projects, all the other people's issues, the management of the team, the business development things, and on all the other bits, low quality portfolios that don't live up to the experience on resumes. And you shouldn't lie or mismatch your resume, your actual skills, and all that commercial experience and actual documentation which comes with it to showcase that yes, you are a designer who can come in and actually do the job. And lastly, having even less time to go through a portfolio. Again, as a user of your portfolio, I have a few minutes tops to assess you. I might have 15, I might have 10, I might have 5. And of course, you always try to structure the day so you have some time to do that properly. If you have, long text, several pages of different text, and it's not structured enough, it doesn't tell a story, it doesn't consider what the user limitations, dependency, challenge, pain points, needs and goals, which I just showcased, are, well, you're not gonna get in. It's as simple as that. Think about who's on the receiving end. Again, first and foremost, is it a peer designer you want to impress, or is it someone you actually want to engage with because you want to join their team? If so, then your approach is gonna be very different. It's gonna be less about the flash and about you. It's gonna be more about the work and how you got there. I hope you're gonna start considering who the user is and start UXing your UX portfolios. If you like this video, subscribe to this channel, give a like, leave a comment down below what you think of it, and on that note, I'll see you next time.